Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
today we'll be discussing the conditional execution. Okay. You already have the idea of writing the conditional statements in Python programming language. So, and today we're going to discuss it in more detail along with the Boolean expression, because whenever you're writing any conditional statement, so the Boolean expression is necessary, because you got to write an expression, so that is Boolean expression, which either evaluates to true or false, and based on the conditions you have the statement executed. Okay, so that is what is the conditional execution. Now within the conditional execution, the Boolean expressions plays the major role. And what are Boolean expressions? Are those expressions that either evaluates to true or false. And normally the Boolean expressions, they result in true or false, and this is true or false that is resulted by the Boolean expressions are not the strings. So true is not a string and false is not a string. So they are the special, they come under the special class called as bool. So bool is again a type in what a Python programming language or Python environment. So, and this true or false, though even though it's a collection of characters, TRUE, and false, FALAC, so it is no longer treated as a string, but it is treated as a special type called as bool. Okay, or you can also sometimes call it as Boolean. Okay, so now here I have the example. Okay, 5 is equal to 5. So this Python understands directly. So this is the expression, Boolean expression, which I'm writing, and there is no condition embedded here. I'm not writing any conditions, or the conditional execution statement like if or else, nothing is written. So I've just written it as 5 is equal to 5. Okay, it says me what? True. That means this expression evaluates to true. And then one more statement what I'm writing is 5 is equal to 6, and it gets evaluates to false. Okay, now whenever you type check the type of true or false, always you'll get it as Boolean. So because this is a special class or a special type available in Python. Okay, so don't think true is if you want to make true as a string, then you got to enclose it in a single quote. So if you write this true in single quote or false in single quote, then it will be taken as the string. So without using the single quote, if you write it as true, it is no longer a string, it is of type Boolean. Okay, so you can just hear type of true I have done, because I hope people know already what is type is. Type is a built-in function using which you can know the type of any of the variables in Python. Okay, now it is of type bool. Okay. Now other comparison operator. In this slide I showed you one comparison operator, that is double equal to, and how the Python, whenever you write any expression which is composed of double equal to, evaluates it to either true or false. You understood? So now other comparison operators are all these things. So x not equal to y. Okay, so x is greater than y, x is less than y, x is greater than or equal to y, x is less than or equal to y, x is y. So this operator I have already told you in the previous class. There is an operator called as is and is not operator. So same thing can also be used. Okay, so if you want to mean x is same as y, then you can write it as x is y. Okay, that is nothing but x is same as y. And if I want to mean x is not same as y, then I can say x is not same as y. Okay, so and then same thing here also. If there is a single equal to operator, then it is an assignment operator. If there are double equal to operators, then it is called as a comparison operator. So there are also other comparison operators like greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, all such things. And there is no such thing as this. See, you can write it as greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, but equal to, less than, or equal to, greater than is not there. Okay, so this is what is available: greater than or equal to y and less than or equal to y. Okay, so and this is same operators which even used in the other programming languages also, but you should know this is and is not operator is also available in Python programming language. Now logical operators. Here you understood the comparison operators. Okay, now logical operators are also available. Okay, what are the logical operators that are available? The basic logical operators are AND, OR and NOT. So same, how do we write AND logical operator in Python? So it is just A and D. And how do we write OR? So in C programming language, the AND logical operator is written using double ampersand, and OR is written using two vertical lines. Okay, two vertical lines. So but here we write it using the word A and D, and OR is by OR. Okay, this. So x greater than 0 and x less than 10. So if both the conditions are true, then the result of this operation is true. Now I have my Python opened. Okay, I'll just show you. And then n modulus 2 is equal to 0, or n modulus 3 is equal to 0. So this turns out this Boolean expression gives you the result true if any one of them is true. And all these things, even without the conditional statement, can be executed, and you can also know the result of this expressions at the interactive Python console. Okay, now it is open. Now let me show you the one. So 5 is equal to 5. So it will tell me true. 5 is equal to 6. It will tell me false. Okay, now I'll write the this one also. Now I'll take x is equal to 5. Okay, now I write this: x is greater than 0 and x is less than 10. So x is greater than 0 and x is less than 10. So now it should tell me true. It is true. Now if I write x is less than 0 and x is less than 10, this will tell me what? False. Okay, and then similarly this also you can do, OR operator. Okay, now here we have used the variable as n. Okay, I'll take it as n is equal to, say we were doing modulus of 2 and 3, the number which is divisible by 2 and also 3. Okay, n is equal to 6 I'll take, because this satisfies both the condition. I say n modulus 2 is equal to 0, or n modulus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, the number which I want to use here, it must be what, the divisible by either 2 or 3. Now this 6 is divisible by both 2 also and 3 also. Now it should semi true. Okay, now if I change the value of n is equal to say 10, okay, and perform the execution of this. So n is divisible by, so 10 is divisible by 2, so true I get, and for the other one I get it as false, but true or false is what? True again. So answer is true. Now I'll change the value of n is equal to say the one which is not divisible by 15. Okay, so 3, it gets divisible. So what is the number I can take? The number which is not divisible by 2 or 3. So what number I can take? 11.
17.
Yeah, anything is fine. Okay, n is equal to 11 I am taking. So now I'll go for calling this. Now it is false. Okay, so because this is also false and this is also false, and the result is false. Okay, next. And this is one more important thing here. Okay, see, I am just comparing this immediate number 17 with true. Okay, so 17 and true I am writing, and the result of this Boolean expression, this is also a Boolean expression which is an integer value, and I have the logical operator and then true written, which is again a bool type. This is integer type and this is bool type, and this whole expression is a Boolean expression right now, and the result written by the Python is true. So why? Because Python treats any non-zero number as what? True. Any non-zero number, the Python will always interpret it as true. So now 17 and true I have written. Since this 17 is a non-zero number, so the 17 will be treated as true. True, and the result what you have is what? True. Okay, now we'll just quickly see this. So 17 and I'm writing true. Oh, sorry. Okay, capital T I have to write. 1 second. Okay, 17 and true is true. Okay, now if I write 0 and true, it says me 0. Okay, 0 is nothing but what? False. Okay, anything is fine. Okay, so this is also possible. So you can go for the operands of the logical operator should be Boolean expression. The Python is not very strict. Any non-zero number is interpreted as true. Next, conditional execution. So before getting into the conditional execution, we understood how to write the Boolean expressions in Python. Now with this understanding, now we'll try to write all this Boolean expressions inside the conditional execution statements now. Okay, now I have here, if, this is how you write if statement, if x is greater than 0. So this is a Boolean expression, so which should either evaluate to true or false. In case if this evaluates to true, this is the statement that gets executed. Okay, and this is what is important here. So the Boolean expression after the statement, after the if statement, is called the condition. This is what the condition, and we end the if statement with a colon character, and the lines after the if statement are indented. That means, so all the statements which should be executed under this if they will be written with the proper indentation. Okay, this is how we write. And to mean it's a compound statement, so you should have the colon added, colon character. So with a simple flow chart is also available. If this condition is true, you have the statement executed. If the condition is false, so this statement, the execution of this statement is skipped. Now, so when you look into the syntax of the if statement, it is exactly same as the function definition. Okay, here. So even the function definition also looks the same, correct, right? So you use the keyword definition and you give the name of the function and the parameter list, and you write it like this along with the colon, something similar to that. So the statement consists of a header line that ends with a colon character followed by the indented block. Okay, and the statements like this, the statements which have this particular colon are called as compound statements, because they stretch across more than one line. So it depends on how many lines you are writing with the proper indentation, and all those lines will be executed under that particular compound block. And there is no limit, for the number of statements that can appear in the body. So there can be but there must be at least one. Say for example, when you're writing something like this, so which is a compound statement, so there must be at least one statement like this, but there is no limitation for the number of statements which you intend under this particular compound statement. There is no limitation as such, but at least one should be there. So and occasionally, and sometimes we it says now there must be at least one line, we say. But sometimes we may have to write the compound statements without any statement. Okay, so in such case, say for example, I want to write this statement if s less than 0, and I don't have any intended statements to be written inside this. So but as per the condition, so there must be at least one statement present inside the compounded statements. So now what I can do, so I can just write it as what, pass. Okay, I just write it as pass. So if I just remove this, so it will not work. So I should have at least one statement present here, but I don't have any statements to put under this. Now what I can write it as pass. I hope you people understood here. So you can use the pass statement, which means do nothing. So excuse me for a while. Hello. Really? Huh. 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 ಸುಪ್ರಿಯಾ ಗೊತ್ತು ಮಾಡಿಸಿ. ಅವನು ಯಾವ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಇಯರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೋ ಆ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಇಯರ್ದು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಫೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಫೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಫಸ್ಟು. ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೋಬೇಕಲ್ವ ನೀವು, ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೇಳಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಈಗ ಅವನು ಯಾವ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಇಯರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ, ನೀವು ಫೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ, ಯು ಜಿ ಫೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಯಾವ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಇಯರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ, ಯಾವ ಇಯರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವು 17, 18 ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವನು ಯಾವ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಚು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಫೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸುಪ್ರಿಯಾ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇವನು ಇಯರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವನು ಡೇಟಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದೇನೆ ಈಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವನದು ಈಗ ಅವ್ನು 4th ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದವನು, ಅವನು ಇವಾಗ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಆಗೋದು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ, 3rd ಇಯರ್ಗೆ. ಅವನನ್ನು ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಇಯರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಪ್ರಿಯಾಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವನದು USNನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸಿ ನನಗೆ. ಅವನನ್ನು 4th ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ 4th ಇಯರ್, ಅವನು 3rd ಇಯರ್ಗೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಡೇಟಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನ 4th ಇಯರ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನು ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಇಯರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸುಪ್ರಿಯಾಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನೀವು ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂದು USN ಒಂದು ನನಗೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ USN ಒಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಸಾರಿ. Okay. Now syntax of the if statement. So the syntax of if statement goes like this. So if, so you write the condition, and this is also called as header. All the statements which will have the semicolon are called as headers, and under this header you can have multiple statements. So at least one must be there, okay, but there is no limitation for the maximum number of statements that can come under this particular header, like this, with some proper indentation. So you can go for writing any number of statements. Next, x is this is a simple example now again. So if you enter an if statement in Python interpreter, the prompt will change from 3 chevrons, okay, to 3 dots to indicate you are in the middle of the block. See, this x is equal to 3 I write, and if x less than 10. So since this is a compound statement, after entering this colon, and if I press enter, so I don't get the chevron back. I have 3 dots. That means, so the statements what I am writing now, they are continuing under this particular compound statement, okay. So you are in the middle of a block of statement as shown below, something like this. Or we can do this at the interpreter also. I write it as let me see, what is it? Yeah, x is equal to 3. So now I write if x is greater than 0. Now I put the colon. Now this colon tells, there are statements which follow this. See, I got 3 dots, and immediately after that it is also indented. The statement which I am about to write now, the Python understand that it comes under this, okay. Now I'll write it as print bigger, and again, so it is asking, is there one more statement under this? So I don't write anything. So, and so when I skip the line, it says me bigger, okay, because x is greater than 0. Now alternative execution. Till now we understood only the conditional execution. Now alternative execution, same as if else, okay. If condition is true, this statement gets executed, and this is skipped. If this condition is false, this gets executed and this is skipped, okay. This is what an alternative execution. And even when you're writing, if is also a compound statement, and else part is also a compound statement. Why this is a compound statement? Again, because there can be more than one what statement which are present even inside the else also, okay. Now I'll just copy this. Now this is what I'm doing. If x modulus 2 is equal to 0, so x value I have taken it as 3, okay. So this value of x itself it will consider, and it will tell me now x is odd. So x is odd. Now I change the value of x to 4, and enter. Now x is even. This is conditional. When x value was 3, so this statement was skipped, and when x value is 4, so this statement is skipped, and this is what got executed. So now this is a simple flowchart for the same. If the condition is true, this, and the else, so print it is odd. So true, print it as even. So now I have an example here. So if you just look into this, okay, so I've written a function with the name print parity, okay. So the name of the function is print parity. You can say, by just looking into this, you can say it's what a function definition written. So name of the function is print parity. It is taking one parameter, and inside that I'm checking if it is even, do this. If it is not even, do this. Okay, and this is how I'm calling print parity. So I'm calling this function print parity by passing 17, and it tells me 17 is odd. And similarly, y is equal to 17 I'm writing, and then print parity can be called by passing y plus 1. So y is already 17 plus 1 is 18, and it tells me 18 is even. Okay, so now we'll quickly do the execution of the same at the so def print parity. So x is what I'm passing, colon. Now it is asking me if x modulus 2 is equal to 0. Oh, sorry, because I skipped writing this colon. I pressed enter directly. It is saying me invalid. Okay, so let me copy these two lines. Okay, colon, I have to press. Now if I press enter, now it does see again the next statement is intended under the if. Okay, I'll write it as print x is, one second, x is even, and then one second. Else print x is odd. Okay, so this is what definition I've written. Okay, next I want to end here. Now I'll call print parity. I'll pass 17. So 17 is odd. Now I'll call the same. I'll pass 18. 18 is even. Now what I'll do, I'll take a variable y is equal to 18, and now I'll pass this variable. So earlier I was passing the direct number. Now I'm passing the variable. Okay, y. So, and now I'll pass some expression, y plus 1, 19 is odd. Now I'll pass y into y plus 1 into say some 4, so 22 is even. Okay, so you can do all these things. Next, chained conditionals. So you understood conditional execution if, and then alternative execution if else. Okay, now chained conditionals. So sometimes there may be more than one possibilities, and we need more than two branches. Okay, so one way to express a computation like this is a chained conditional. How you can do this? Like this: if and then chained elif. Okay, elif it is, and then finally else. So as you know, if else kind of thing. Okay, so finally else part. So first it will check with this condition. If this is true, this is executed. If this is false, then it will go for checking with the next elif condition, and it's true, this gets it. If none of them are true, then it will finally go to the else part. Okay, this. So and the simple flowchart for it is something like this. Okay, so if this is true, this. If this is true, this. So finally, if none of them are true, it will come to this. So we have a simple example on this. So choice is equal to A, print bad guess. L if choice is equal to B, good guess. L if choice is equal to C, close but not correct. Something like this. Okay, next is nested conditionals. Okay, nested conditions is also possible. So this is an alternative execution here. If this is true, perform this. Else, under this else, again we have a nested if else. Okay, so this. So one conditional can also be nested within another. So we could have written the 3 branches example, something like this. Okay, so this is what the nested conditionals. And I think this is easy, not necessary to explain. The outer conditional contains 2 branches. So the first branch contains a simple statement, and the second branch contains another if statement which has 2 branches of its own. So these 2 branches are both simple statement, although they could have been a conditional statement as well. Okay, so this one again. So there are 2. So this itself has 2 branches, and this else part again in turn has 2 branches. So this is the simple flow chart of it. Okay, so this is, you can make out, this is not the difficult thing. Okay, so and one disadvantage is that when you are nesting too many things like this, okay, the readability becomes very difficult. So it's very difficult for you to read quickly. So why? Because we don't have the parenthesis concept here. It is only based on the indentation. So and this makes, if there are too many things nested, so it will make you to read quickly. It will make difficult for you to read quickly. So, and in general, there is also a recommendation saying, so try to avoid this too many nestings as much as possible. Okay, and try to write the entire code using the single conditional statements. So instead of writing too many nested conditional statements, which makes you very difficult to easily read, because the only way through which you can make out the statements under a compound statement is through the indentation, and this is the biggest drawback. Okay, this is an example. Yeah, now this statement, this printf statement is executed only if both the conditions are what? Satisfied. Otherwise, no. Okay, and this is another example. Okay, so this is nested right now. See, this statement is nested here. Instead of writing like this, the same thing can be done by using this. Okay, this is what. So because in the previous slide I told avoid nesting too many things, how can it be avoided? So by something like this, so if x less than 0, and then if x less than 10, and then I want this statement to be executed. Now this is something, the concept of nesting. Now I don't want this nesting. You can write it like this. There is no concept of nesting here, and this looks very simple and easy for you to understand also, and reading also. Now return statement. Say in case I want to terminate the execution of a function even before it reaches the end, then you can do that by using return. See, all functions by default at the end they'll return. In case if you want to terminate the execution of the function even before it reaches the end, so then you can always do that by using the return. So one reason to use it is if you detect an error condition. So then, say for example here, so I have imported the math module. You know how to import it. So then print logarithmic is the function which I am writing. So x value I am taking. I am just checking if x is less than 0. So if x is less than 0, So then I don't want to continue here. I don't want these statements to be executed. What I just say is, so positive numbers only please, and then I say return. So that means these statements are not executed. So we have the function print logarithm returning even before these statements are getting executed. Okay. Open. I hope people understood with this. So if it's a positive number, then these statements are executed. Okay. So we'll quickly execute this. Okay. Now enter the value of x. Say let me enter this, the negative number -1. It says positive numbers only, and it is returning from here. Correct? And we don't have these two statements executed. Oh, sorry. Now enter the value of x. So let me give a positive number 10, and log of x is 2.30. Okay, this is how. And you can observe here, math is the module imported. I want to use the function log. How to call it? So name of the module dot name of the function, and what we are passing is x, and log of x is the result is printed. Now catching exceptions. Okay, using try and except. Okay, so till now we never thought of handling the exceptions. So now we'll think of handling the exceptions. So you know how to do the exception handling in C++ using try and the catch block. Even in Java you know how to do it using try and the catch. Now same thing can also be done even in Python. So there is something called as try and except. There is no concept of catch here. It is except, except. Okay, so I have written this small program here. I don't know whether you can see it. Let me zoom it a little bit. Okay, so the program, enter the Fahrenheit temperature. I'm reading it, and then I'm converting it into float. Okay, so I'm doing it. So now when I execute my program, this is what is the result printed. So if we execute this code and give an invalid input, so earlier I've given a valid input that is 72, and I have the result got converted. Correct? So now, so in the next run, so it is in yellow color. I don't know whether people can see it properly. Okay. Now what I'm giving an invalid input. See, I ran my program, enter the Fahrenheit temperature. I'm entering a string FRED. Now this is what the error I'm getting. So this is the runtime error which I'm getting. Now I don't want these things to happen. Now what is the solution to this? I got to make use of try and except. So if I use try and except, all these runtime errors can be handled appropriately. So let me execute this program. So enter the Fahrenheit temperature. Let me give some valid integer, say 72. So I have it converted, okay, into Celsius, 22.22. Now I'll run the same program again. I'm running the same program. Now it is asking me to enter the temperature. I'll enter my name. I don't know what kind of input I have to give. I have just entered my name and press enter. So this is what the error, runtime error I'm getting. Could not convert string to float Arish. Okay, now. I think this is appropriate. Okay. So the idea of try and except is that you know that some sequence of instruction may have a problem, and you want to add some statements to be executed if an error occurs. So that is try and catch. If any runtime errors occurs, you have the statements which are written inside the except block called. Okay, so these extra statements, So the except blocks are ignored if there is no errors. In case if there are any errors, runtime errors, then the statements which you have written inside the except block will be called. Okay. Or the statement which you write inside the except block, is something like an insurance policy. So for your program, so it is something like an insurance policy to your program. If something error happens in your program, so this statements gets executed. The statements under the except block gets executed. So except block is something like an insurance policy to your program, and catch block is something like an insurance policy to your program which is written in C++ or Java. Now how to write it? So something like this. We can rewrite our temperature converter as follows. So input, so this input, enter the Fahrenheit temperature. I'm reading the Fahrenheit temperature, and error can happen here. If I enter an invalid input, which cannot be converted to a float, so then what will happen? So it will try to perform the execution of these things. If there is a runtime error, so it will immediately call the except, and we can say, so please enter a number. Okay, let me execute. This is how you write it. So try and accept. Very simple. Observe here. Now I'm running. Let me give a valid input 72. So I got it converted. Now I'll run again. Now I give an invalid input. So now I don't get the runtime error, something like this, which I had earlier got. Now instead it will say me, please enter a number. So please enter a number. Okay. So this is how you can easily handle the runtime errors using try and except block. Okay. So whenever any runtime error occurs here, it will be handled using the statements which are written using the except block. So I have an exercise for you now. So rewrite your pay computation to give employees 1.5 times the hourly rate for hours worked above 40 hours. So now in this program I want you to use try and accept also. Any invalid input given, it should handle appropriately, and you should also use here the conditional statements, conditional execution. So yeah, start writing and put your answers in the chat box. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, start writing. So this similar type of program you have already written earlier. Okay. So now I want you to rewrite that computation program to give employees 1.5 times the hourly rate for hours worked above this 40 hours. So 1.5 times more. Okay, you got to do. So it's something like this. Enter the hours 45, since the number of hours is exceeding 40. Enter the rate 10. So it should be how much? Pay should be 1.5 times more. So 1.5 times more for the number of hours worked above 40. For 40 hours you got to compute. So 40 into 10. Sorry. Yeah. No. 40 into 10. Correct, right? So that is 400. And for the remaining 5 hours, you got to give more than 1.5 times. So 10 into 1.5 times. Hope you are following. For that 5 hours is getting it as 75 extra. So write your answers in the chat box. and use the try and except block also appropriately. Are you writing? I'll show you the question. Are you people writing? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, for 40 hours you have to compute on this rate 10 into 40, so 400. Okay, and he has worked 5 hours more for the hours worked above 40 hours, so 5 it should be 1.5 times the normal rate 10. I'm waiting in the chat box to see the answers. I don't know what you people are doing. It will not take much time. Okay, try. You have to finish it in 2 minutes. So hardly 5 to 6 lines you'll be writing, that's all. Okay, there is okay. I got one response. Enter the hours. Okay, converting hours into float, and then okay, 2 responses I got. Enter the rate. If r is less than 40, print h into x. L if r is greater than 40, print 40 into x. Okay, the rate plus 40 h minus 40 into 1.5 into x. Good. Okay, and then one more response I have got. So else pay. Okay, even that is also same, but try and the 134 you are written without using try and accept. Okay, but yeah, one more response. 182 is written with the try and except also. Good. Okay, fine. Now I'll show my response. I don't know whether I've written it using try and except. Let me check. Oh, okay. Solution I have not written, but you people have written. I hope all of you can see the chat box. All of you can see the chat box. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because I have not written the solution. The solution is available here. So both are correct. Only thing is in this there is no try and except. So in the other one, try and with the try and except I have written it. Okay, good. So I think one more example is here. Rewrite your pay program. Yeah, this is with the try try and except. Okay, using try and except so that your program handles non-numeric input gracefully by printing a message and exiting the program. So the following shows two execution of the program. One is 920 if I enter, and the rate 9 if I enter. Please enter the numeric input. It should ask me something like this. So the second one is with the try and except. It's the same thing you can do. Whatever the students have already written, the second solution what I get applies to this program now. Okay, and after this I have one more. Not sure what it is. Yeah. Just copy this also. Write a Python program to prompt for the scores between 0.0 and 1.0. If the score is out of range, print an error message. Okay. If the score is between the range 0.0 and 1.0, print a grade using the following table. So greater than or equal to 0.9, A grade you have to print. Greater than or equal to 0.8, B grade you have to print. Greater than or equal to 0.7, C grade you have to print. Greater than or equal to 0.6, D grade you have to print. Less than 0.6, you have to say grade F. Okay. And this is how it should be. So this sample run also I have given. So run the program repeatedly as shown above to test the various different values for the input. So I want you to copy this and write it. So tomorrow when you're coming, I'll ask you to show this. Okay. So just copy this program question and make an attempt to solve this. Hello. ಯಾರಿದು? ಓ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೀನಿ ಕಣ, ಒಂದು 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡ. Yeah, copy this question. So you can copy this, or quickly you want to finish, you can take the photo of this or screenshot of this and may try to make an attempt. Okay, try to write the program for this, and tomorrow I'll ask you people. Okay, what we will do is I'll download the attendance list. So now I think for today it is enough. Tomorrow we'll continue. So if you have any doubts, and you can discuss with me, please. So don't hesitate. So anything related to the subject, if you want to ask, please do ask me. Hello students, you don't have any doubts? Hello? Yes? Hello? No doubts? No, someone is trying to speak. Yeah, speak louder. Hello. Okay. Shall I assume no doubts? Okay. I hope you copied this question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then we'll end the meeting now, and